Ciao, 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 ciao. Welcome everybody. Grazie a Monza. Pizza, pizza. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. It's been a fantastic weekend. What a weekend we've had. There's many things been going on. Firstly, I'd just welcome
Hello. Yeah.
Fabio.
Hello.
Hello, Fabio.
Hello.
Ciao, 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 ciao,
Ciao,
ciao,
ciao.
ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
And also, thank you very much for enduring my stupidity.
Ciao.
And also, welcome to Lucky.
Good evening.
Good evening, good evening. Okay, so thank you so much. We've been in Italy. We have been in Italy. We've been drinking deep of the wine of the gods at Monza. Interesting fact, they decided to make Monza a royal park, presumably due to Sir Lewis Hamilton being in the team now. So that's exciting. Well, welcome, Lucky. Thank you so much, and congratulations to Monza for becoming a royal park because of Lewis
I thought
Hamilton.
I thought it always
I
was a royal
yeah,
park.
it has always been. Yeah, I hate to break it to you,
What?
but yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was because of Sir Lewis Hamilton. Oh,
No,
okay.
no, no, no. It was the
Hmm?
royal because it's in the park, which is the royal park. So yeah.
Well, you
No,
say that, but you know,
Well,
obviously,
yeah, say that because it's true.
yeah. I mean, that's fair enough. That is fair enough.
is it
Welcome
true,
to
Fabio?
Tilting Windmill. Thank you very much, Tilting. And Tilting says, please everybody hit the like button and click the bell to subscribe and get notified of each upcoming Simos Funk show. Thank you, thank you.
Can I ask him
Welcome
one
to
question?
Sandy.
Of
Enjoy the vroom. Yeah, go ahead.
A question for Fabio. Is it true, Fabio, that the Pope used to bless the drivers before F1 races at Monza?
The what? Sorry.
The Pope used to bless the drivers before F1 races at Monza.
I'm not aware of that. I
All
don't
right.
think so.
All
Hey,
right.
you might have done. You might have done. Depends which one, presumably.
Well, maybe I mean maybe the priest in Monza used to do
Well,
that. I really doubt that the Pope did that. But
Well, when
welcome,
Lewis
Mel.
becomes when Lewis
Welcome,
becomes
Mel.
Pope, he can bless the drivers.
yeah,
El says, ciao, Fabio.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so onwards. Dave, how are you? Oh, I'm so glad that you're in the chat. Thank you so much. I hope everything worked out for you. I got a laugh, so there we go. That makes it's good. I hope everything's all right, Dave, and it went well. I did send you a message. Been thinking of you, but yeah, looking forward to seeing you at the weekend, next weekend, hopefully. And I hope, as I say, everything went well for you. Being in the chat, I'm sure it has. Okay, onwards with the show. We were at Monza. I don't know if you knew that, but we were at Monza. Grazie Monza for a fantastic race. And also, just to let everybody know, we've got a brand new segment in the show this week.
Wow.
So look out for that. It's called "It's Only Rock and Stroll, but I Like It." Okay, so look out for that. And obviously, I think you can guess by the title that it's going to be about our favourite, most racingest Canadian of all time, Lance Stroll. So yeah, look out for that. It's only rock and stroll, but I like it. So I'll
Hey,
be doing
Lucky,
that little feature
are you
later.
happy? Are you happy to know where all the money goes to?
All the money.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I mean that's a cracking joke. I mean, this is where all the money goes to. You know,
I wish
it's
I fucking knew. Yes, I wish I knew where all the money went to. I think it's going to Canada at the moment.
No. It's going to those jokes, Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think well worth every penny. I think
yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah, of course. It
you know,
is.
Yes.
every day you come out with new sequence titles like it's only rock and stroll, but I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that I'll be doing that little segment a little later in the show. First, of course, we have, as always, a review of the Grand Prix. So there we go. So they lined up on the grid. I'm going to be quick about this one, Fabio. You'll be pleased to know. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like the race, like the race. We're going to be, it's going to be quick. In fact, it was the quickest F1 race of all time.
Unfortunately, yes.
Amazing. Well, you say unfortunately.
Yeah.
Actually, anyway, we'll get to the politics a little later because we're in Italy, so of course there's going to be politics. However,
Yeah.
Max Verstappen on pole position, fantastic pole position, and how he managed to do it, I'll still never know. Looking at his lap, because that was just pure pace. There wasn't much towing going on there, but I guess there was distant tow. But anyway, there we are. Then Norris in second place, disappointed, and third place Piastri, and then fourth place, a fantastic fourth place for Charles Leclerc, the pasty pastry, the fast Leclerc himself. And then after that, some also runs, Russell and I can't remember who else. Russell and Antonelli and Alonso, I think, something like that. Anyway, look, whatever. The main thing is the top five, right? The top five of Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, and Russell. Those were the main sort of participants. There was also ran by Gabriel Bortoleto, who did very well in this race as well, qualified incredibly well. He's a young star, isn't he? He's a young star. Anyway, away into the first corner. Norris challenging Verstappen, amazingly Verstappen, challenging Verstappen, and Verstappen having to drive off the circuit in order to maintain his lead. At the same time, Norris then fighting with Piastri, Leclerc coming through for third place temporarily until Piastri managed to get past him again. And then, of course, Verstappen was told to give the place back. I don't want to quote Norris, but I think he said something like, "Yeah, what's this idiot doing? Come on, he's put me in the grass, and then he's just cut the corner." Strong words from the young Norris there to call Verstappen an idiot. That is a 4 times world champion. Yeah, so there we are. Just goes to show you the determination young Norris had in this race. Anyway, as I say, fourth place by Leclerc, and Hamilton came up from 10th place. Was also having a fantastic race. Managed to make up quite a few places in the first corner, mainly by people going off the track. Verstappen then in lap 2 told to give the position back. He did so in an advantageous place for him. Let Norris go by. Careful not to overtake him again straight away. Piastri having a quick look down the inside, but nothing doing. And then, of course, Verstappen just drawing up behind Norris when the DRS comes in and overtaking him. Pretty much that was going to be the race. They all finished in those positions, and one thing led to another. There was a little bit of politics going on, like I said. There was a lot of collisions. Stroll and Ocon. Stroll very unlucky in this race. I think as the most startingest Canadian ever, I think he really got hard done by in this race. And remember, we're going to be doing a little segment on Stroll this week, and I think it's called anyway, we're going to be doing a little segment. The segment's going to be called Going for a Stroll. So look out for that later. That'll be very entertaining, I'm sure. Meanwhile, back to the race. Lap 5. Again, Alonso really challenging Bortoletto until Hamilton managed to get in the way. Hamilton on an absolute tear up. Leclerc challenging Piastri all the while. Piastri being a little slow actually, and Leclerc really giving it to him. Unfortunately, unable to make the move. That McLaren was too fast in a straight line compared to the Ferrari. Ferrari looking amazing, by the way, absolutely amazing this weekend. What a great paint job! I thought that was going to give them a healthy, significant faster. Go faster stripe on it like it had. And I thought they were actually going to go faster. Didn't they? No, well, back in the 70s, that go faster stripe would have been worth an extra 3 or 4 miles an hour, quite possibly. Alonso then later on suffering a major suspension failure coming out of, was it Ascari? No, Rettifilio? Which is the chicane, the last chicane?
Ascari.
It is Ascari, thank you.
Yes.
Coming out of Ascari, Alonso put his wheel over the edge of the curve, or too far up the curve, and that broke his suspension. Amazing. And by the way, I just got to say quickly, that's why we go to Iceland. Iceland, the food warehouse, where you can get any 3 for £10. Any 3 for £10. Can't say fairer than that. Can't say fairer than that.
Can I recommend
Lap 38. Lap 30. Thank you. Spring roll to you as well. Thank you. Lap 38. Verstappen comes in for a pit, drops down to 3rd place. Lap 41. Then Sainz and Behrman come together in a very clumsy overtake by Carlos Sainz, who later got a penalty. I'm not exactly sure why he got a penalty, because I think in the rules he was fairly entitled to the road. Behrman got the penalty because Sainz was entitled to the road, even though he couldn't really get out of the way. Kimi Antonelli also fighting very hard with Albon, pushing him onto the grass a little bit, but seemingly perfectly acceptable for the young Italian. However, as always, the Williams was very fast in a straight line. Lap 46, Piastri in, having been given first dibs by Norris. Then Norris comes in. Oh, that was a 1.9 second for Piastri. 5.9 seconds for Norris. And that gave Piastri the lead. And we all thought, well, there goes the championship again. Piastri actually, far out. He was, exactly. Piastri was crying because he obviously felt it was extremely unfair to Norris, having been given the first pit. So Piastri absolutely begged the team to swap the positions back. And in fact, that's what they did. And Norris was given 2nd place back, which was a 6-point switch, although only worth 3 points. I think Piastri had it in his mind that it was probably best just to give up the place, not cause any ruckus in the team, as he would need it in the future. I don't know, is there something wrong? You've been cutting onions or something, Fabio?
No, it's been a lot of crying.
Okay, fair enough. Speaking of crying, Lance Stroll really not getting on particularly well. He had a very long pit as well. One of the right rear jack the wheel didn't want to come off at all. So he was in the pits. But we're going to talk about that a little later in our news section. We have a new segment. It's called Shake, Rattle and Stroll. So look out for that, everybody. That's on fantastic, most winningest Canadian ever. Startingest Canadian ever. Not the most winning. That would be silly. Anyway, they came home in these positions. Verstappen first, Norris second, Piastri third, Leclerc fourth Russell 5th, Hamilton 6th, up from 10th, then Albon, Bortoletto in a fantastic 8th place, Kimi Antonelli in 9th, fantastic for him to come back, and Izaki Jar in 10th place to take the last point. And of course, this led to Verstappen on the podium again, unbelievably, and we'll dissect why. We will dissect why. Now, Oscar Piastri now leads by 324 to Lando Norris's 293 to Max's 230, Russell's 194, Charles 163, and then the rest are also round. So yeah, basically down to what? That's 31 points. So Norris got 3 points back. I think Piastri's smiling after the weekend, quite largely, and being owed one by the team. So that's basically the race. It was well worth it. Monza is always worth it. The autodrome of speed, and yeah, it didn't disappoint with the fastest race of all time. Max Verstappen doing a lap, all-time fastest lap of Monza at 164 miles, nearly 165 miles an hour average speed, which is quite incredible. So I'm going to pass it now over to our fantastic Italian expert, all things Italian. He's an expert on. Why? Because he's an Italian. I think that says it all. Over to you, Fabio. Did you watch the race? And if so, how did you find it?
Finally, a proper track. Fantastic track. The only thing, I mean, on Sunday they ended up the way they started, which, by the way, it's really unusual for Monza. I think the last time it happened was in 2020 or stuff like that, because it's a proper track. I mean, you can do tactics, you can do speed, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, it's a driver's track. Funny thing is that, I think it's like 5 or 6 corners, but there are 5 or 6 of the most difficult corners you can find on the championship. So anyway, amazing attendance. The public was brilliant as always. Max Verstappen put up a performance which was, I mean, it was honestly unbelievable from the get-go. From the fact that he had and the mechanics in his team literally grind the rear wing by hand, something which hasn't been seen for a while. To the fact that he made the lap record in Monza, which again, it was set, I think, in 21, or I mean, it was many years that it wasn't beaten, and he beat the lap record. He also, as Simon said, he beat the average speed of the race, more than 250 kilometers an hour. That was kind of, disappointing to me, because the previous record was in 2003, and it belonged to Michael Schumacher with 247 kilometers an hour. But he beat it fair and square. So yeah, fantastic race from Verstappen. Nothing to say. I mean, Bortoletto made a very good race and all this stuff, but I think that what Verstappen did basically annihilated, all the other drivers, especially, considering what the McLaren has been during the whole year. Verstappen has always been the best of the others, than the others, the ones, which don't drive a McLaren. And this Sunday, he was the best overall. So, I mean, massive performance from Verstappen. The other teams, Ferrari was expected to do something good, because, historically they always prepare something, Monza is a track like no other. So there is really no setup or aero configuration which suits some other track but Monza. It's and Ferrari historically has always prepared something for Monza. This time it didn't work out. I think that Leclerc also made a bit of a mistake in the formation lap. He hit the tire in the wrong way apparently. So the first laps where there was actually some fight, he ended up with those tires even more hot than especially the rear one that they should have been. So they had to tell him, to slow down for some laps after I think lap 10 or stuff like that. And after that, he was basically keeping the pace of the McLaren. But Verstappen again, was racing another sport, so it was nowhere. It was impossible to catch him this Sunday. He was really in the zone. Yeah, I mean, other than that, what can we say? Antonelli, made a mistake, in FP1, I think on Thursday, but then all in all, he made a nice performance. Too bad for Hülkenberg, which made exactly 0 laps because he had to get back in the pit, after the formation lap because his car apparently broke up. I don't know. Nobody knows what happened. Lewis made a decent race. He got from 10th, I think, to 6th. He got, like 4 or 5 positions, and then he was basically stuck there. But yeah, I mean, I think he made a decent race. Apparently, he's getting into knowing this car, which, I mean, it's too late for everybody. So I don't think that Ferrari will be able, unless something weird happens in some, race, will be able to make a good performance because the car is not there. Simply is not there. And like all the other cars but McLaren, except, for the Red Bull, but, I don't think it was actually the Red Bull. It was more Max way of driving, which made this great performance. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay,
Lucky.
thank you very much, very, very much. Yes, now over to you, Lucky. Monza, did you watch the race? And if so, how did you find it?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't the most exciting of races. However, it was at Monza, so we can forgive them for that. Let's start today as usual with our man, Blackjack Hajar. How did he do this weekend? Well, it wasn't a promising qualifying. However, he still ended up, guess what? Best of the Red Bull rest. Lawson was way back in last place after crashing with Tsunoda, who managed to finish 16th. Again, what is Tsunoda doing in the proper Red Bull team? It seems a bit strange that Hajar's not getting the chance. However, we've talked about that before. What else happened in the race? What do you think of this turn 1 business, guys? Did what's his name? Norris put Verstappen off? And if so, did he not just do exactly what Verstappen has done to him on several occasions in the past?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't see any problems. Yeah, I mean, he just left the brakes. But, Verstappen gave him back the position. So I don't think no harm's done. I mean, it's very, the first variant, the first chicane is very narrow. And, yeah, I mean, it's not unusual, especially with those big cars, to have some problem. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw before the race, I think the Jackie X, which is 80 years old, he made a run with the 312B. I don't know if you saw that, and it's, I mean, you should get it on YouTube somewhere, and you just to figure out how narrow the cars were. It's so yeah.
How small they used to be, yeah?
Yeah.
In comparison, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, moving on to what are we talking about next? Lewis Hamilton.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Sir Pope Lewis Hamilton, KCA, DSA. MFI, KFC. What about Lewis? He got this 5 grid place penalty from the was it
Shocking.
from the business last week. He overtook under waved yellows, was it? Or
No,
he
no, he didn't. He didn't slow down enough under waved yellows,
right.
which was a mandatory waved yellow that they told them about before in the briefing or something.
Despite that setback, I think he actually had a really good weekend in the car. He was matching Leclerc's times fairly consistently throughout the race. So, as Fabio said, I think he may be getting into the car now because the actual on-track time that he had seemed to do as well as his teammate. So, that's a step forward for him. What else? Driver of the day, I've got to go with Fab. It's Max Verstappen. I mean, he showed them a clean pair of heels. Despite the business at the first corner, having to give the place back, it only took him 4 laps to get back past Norris, and he left the rest of them for dead. So I'm going to go with Verstappen as driver of the day. What do you think, Silas?
Well, Fabio, who was your driver of the day?
He has to be Verstappen.
Okay, interesting.
He has to be because of what he did, how he did it. He has to be.
Okay, I was going to go. I think I'm going to go for Hulkenberg.
Well,
I'll just let that sit because there's no. I don't have to say anything. Right? These jokes don't write themselves. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
He certainly had an uneventful race, did Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I think he was. I mean, first to finish. I mean, he didn't finish first, but he was the first to finish. So,
indeed,
quickest time I've ever seen anybody run a race at Monza.
I'm really struggling to
think. I think apart from Schumacher, who I believe did crash once on the warm-up lap.
No, that was fucking Coulthard.
Was it Coulthard? Of course
Coulthard
it was.
did it twice.
Sorry.
No,
he did twice. Yeah, twice.
He did it once in the formation lap, and then he did it in the race as well.
Yeah. But he actually did it in the race. So, oh no, Hulkenberg was faster. But anyway, there we go.
Yeah, well, at least Hulkenberg got a full lap. I mean, Coulthard didn't get even.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he started the race. He still started the race, didn't he?
Yeah,
because they stopped the race, and then he got the second car, so he's able to start the race and then go and do it again.
Stopped the race because of him.
Yeah,
because there was an awful mess down at the exit of the Scotty. Yeah. However, Hulkenberg. I think despite your vote for Hulkenberg, I think we're going with Verstappen as driver of the day. I don't think anybody.
Okay. Really. Yeah. Well, if I'm outvoted, if you don't think Hulkenberg took the news fantastically well, then fair enough.
He wasn't too happy, and neither was Alonso. He's another person that wasn't very happy this weekend. Unacceptable.
Absolutely.
He said.
Yeah. Absolutely. Unacceptable. And we will be covering that later on in the show when we go for the special segment, the new segment that we've got coming up on Lance Stroll and all things Aston Martin. And that new segment's called Stroll Over Beethoven. So look out for that. That'll be a little later in the show. Go ahead, Lucky.
With very few lyrics involved in it. Okay, there's not much else we can talk about, is there? I think this team orders for the slow pit stop. What's your thoughts on this? We need to get in depth to this.
Okay, so one of the reasons why I think the Verstappen was the best one is also the way that he can actually have a very strong perception of the whole race as a whole. Yeah. And his team radio, when when McLaren swapped was actually what everybody thought. Team radio was something like, they made him swap because Lando, because they made a mistake in the pit. What a joke. So yeah, I mean, in my book, it was a joke. It was. I mean, just for a second, okay, for a second, think about Senna and Prost, okay? Just think about asking Prost or Senna to give the position back because there was a mistake at the pits.
Yes.
Or I mean, if we don't want to go that far,
We don't want to go that far, no.
well, okay, just think, what would happen, like, if you have a team with Leclerc and Verstappen. I mean, nobody in his right mind would do that. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean, just the reason we don't want to go that far anyway, Fabio, is that there was no team orders back then, of course, so it's unthinkable. Officially, there was no team order.
Anyway, regardless,
it's illegal.
What about
it's
the Austrian?
regardless.
What about the Austrian Grand Prix?
Yeah.
When
What?
Schumacher was behind Barrichello.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
what did you guys?
Schumacher was faster than Barrichello, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, why don't you guys ask the same thing to Vettel and Webber?
Yeah, exactly. Multi 21.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, well, nobody. That's just a setting on the car, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm just. There we go. There we go.
So yeah, I mean, okay. The thing is that I think the real the real winning person in the whole thing was the team, namely, Stella and Brown, that they showed that they are, the masters of the drivers too, which is, again, it left me there with a very bitter taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can ask whatever the fuck they want. And these guys would do it. And yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there is that. Well, there is that. I'll put the other side forward to be devil's advocate. So there are two things that I have to correct with what you said there, Fabio. Firstly, is that before Verstappen's radio, there was a radio from the pits to Verstappen saying, or telling Verstappen that that Norris had a bad pit stop. So that's the reason that Verstappen knew that the McLarens had a bad pit stop. And then there was the next pit radio was saying that they're going to swap them back. So Verstappen wasn't sort of some god of seeing how the race is going.
No.
This is all information just given to him by his pits.
But it
was still a funny comment. So I understand the point you're making. That's fine. So that's that. Firstly, and then secondly, I'm disappointed because Norris should have been penalised. I feel in this case because he was in the first place. He had choice over with the pit stops, and he tried to have his cake and eat it. And for that reason, I think he should have been penalised. First, basically, what happened was the McLaren's pits radioed Norris and said, "Okay, we're going to pit you. Do you want to come in first or second? It's your choice, being the lead car." And Norris tried to make them say that they wouldn't swap round and there was no undercut possibilities if we give it to Piastri first in order to defend from Leclerc. Now, for a start, there's two things wrong with this. Firstly, Norris is being a pussy and trying to have his cake and eat it by saying, no, he should have said, no, I want to pit first. Of course, I'm going to get the undercut. If there's an undercut to be gotten between the two of us, I'm having it. And I want to pit first. So he should have said that. And then there would have been no problem. He would have been, I don't think he could have potentially asked the team to switch back if he'd had a long pit stop. And that's how it should have gone, and that's Norris's fault. Secondly, the team should have said straight back to him, "There's no danger of an undercut from Leclerc. He's too far back. It's just between you and him. What do you want?" And then Norris would have again had the choice to say, "Yes, I want to go first because it's my choice." But the team didn't say that to him either. No, the team placated Norris's suggestion and said, "Yep, okay, there'll be no undercuts from Piastri. Don't worry about that." He had a 4-second lead after all. There shouldn't have been an undercut anyway. So the team at that point had no idea whether there was going to be one. They weren't to know that Norris's pit stop was going to go bad. Fabio, you're dying to just jump in and say something.
No. I'm just saying that it's actually funnier than that because Norris should have pitted first because he was ahead. But but the team, they didn't ask him if he wanted to go second. They told him that they would have pitted Piastri before him in order to cover from Leclerc. And then they told him there is no undercut, just be cool and blah, 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 all that stuff. The reason I say that is because after the race, the two reasons that the McLaren team gave for the swap position was that first, that Norris should have pitted first, but we made it pit in second, and then it was our mistake, and then we made the mistake of the pit. Those were the two reasons that they
that's not true. That's not true.
I know it's not true, but this adds only, it makes even more funny. It's just they're trying to,
let me just get back to finishing up then. Okay, so anyway, as I said, where was I? So Norris said, "Look, I'll pit second then because I'll be magnanimous, do the team thing." And in doing that, he was trying to get the team to not have any undercut from Piastri, right? And I don't know why he thought there would be, but nonetheless, that was how it kind of appeared to guarantee his first place position, his position over Piastri. And I think that was wrong for him to do. The team should have said, "There's no danger of an undercut from Leclerc, so we will pit you first." And that's how that should have gone down. I guess in hindsight, well, no, it makes no difference. That's how it should have gone down. So I think the team's at fault here. That's my main point. And I think that's why they chose to switch them back and insist to Piastri that they switch back. If Norris had been at fault, they wouldn't have switched them back. But unfortunately, McLaren, the pit wall, played into Norris's hands by getting them to say there would be no undercut. In other words, Piastri would not overtake. But anyway, there you go. That's how that goes. I think if McLaren if the pit wall hadn't made that mistake by guaranteeing Norris the position, then I don't think they would have swapped them back as per the rules that they had agreed from the last pit stop debacle, where Norris was made to give the place back to Piastri. So I think, and that was a lot more valuable, right? Was it Hungary last year? I think that place was a lot more valuable. But nonetheless, that's how that went down, and I do think that there was a serious mistake by the pit wall, and they were trying to have their cake and eat it, and I think Norris took advantage. But well done and kudos to Piastri for giving up it. It's only a 3-point narrowing, which is not much in consideration of his 30 odd points, 35 points or 34 points he had going into this race. And I think what he's done is guaranteed that the McLaren will not give him Norris that advantage again, which is potentially worth more when they go to other circuits where Verstappen isn't winning. So that's my overall position on it. Lucky, go ahead.
Okay, my thoughts are that McLaren are in a really strong position at the moment, and without being in that really strong position they're in, I don't think that would have happened. And I think perhaps McLaren need to get a bit more cutthroat with what they're doing. And they don't seem to be able to make cutthroat decisions, which might or might not have an adverse effect in the future. But we'll see. We can only see. But it just seems, as Fabio said, it just seems a bit strange. It leaves a nasty taste in your mouth, as Fabio says. So we'll perhaps leave it at that, shall we?
Okay, jolly good.
One last thing. Are we coming to our new stroll over Beethoven section now?
No.
Or is that later?
That can be done a little later. Yeah. Go ahead. If you have something you want to say, though, that's no problem. My crack is ready to go.
Well, after the race, Mike Crack was asked about Fernando Alonso's car, and Mike Crack said,
"What did Mike Crack say?" Yeah.
Well, Mike Crack said, "Lance Stroll is a twat."
Well, there we go. Breaking news here. You heard it here first. Yeah, there we go. Okay, thank you very much for that, Lucky. Okay, brilliant. Is there anything else that we want to cover briefly in the show?
Yeah, I thought we could reenact Lance Stroll's post-race interview. Could we do that?
Yeah, if you like. Yeah. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be Lance Stroll, or should you want me to be Lance Stroll?
I'll be Lance Stroll. You can be the interviewer.
Okay, no problem. Lance, that was a cracking race. You must be thrilled to have re-signed the contract for next year. How did you find the race, and what are you looking and expecting for in the future?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much, Lance. Also, just to ask you a quick question on how are you finding the competition with Alonso this year? You know, you've had some cracking races against him this year, although you're not doing so well.
Yep.
Okay, everybody. Thank you very much, Lance. So that was Lance Stroll, everybody. Thank you very much.
In-depth answers from Lance Stroll this week.
Indeed. We are going to be going over that as I say, in the special section that we've got Stroll over Beethoven, which will be coming up shortly. Go ahead, Lucky. Anyway,
I think the race is done for now, and we've only got 14 minutes left. Yeah. And my thing's going to take at least half an hour this week. So.
Okay. Fabio. Anything you'd like to say?
No.
Anything you want to say?
No.
I love the fact that you're sitting right in the middle there of that picture, which of course, as anyone can tell, is in fact the 312T. I believe it's the 312T anyway.
I think it was kind of a prototype because they didn't really add these, thingies over here. But it was.
Well, I love the fact you're sitting right in the middle of it, but facing backwards. Looks like you're driving backwards there.
That was the prototype that had the two wings at the back and the four wheels on the back axle.
Damn that. But yes, anyway, there we go. Anyway, whatever. Thank you so much for that. Okay, right, before the special section that we've got this week, the in-depth article on Lance Stroll, I'm just going to pass it over to you, Lucky, for the section known as is it a quiz? Is it a myth? Is it a myth? Or is it a quiz? Is it a myth and a quiz? Or a myth and a quiz? Is it a myth, a quiz? Is it a quiz or myth?
It's not really anything this week. We're keeping it short, so we're going to have a brief tale from Monza. If that's okay with everybody?
Yes, of course it is, yeah.
Okay, so 1953. Monza Grand Prix.
I remember it well.
Final race, I'm sure you do. Did you watch it on television or did you listen to it on radio?
No, I had it. It was ESP'd to me by my mother.
I saw it on the reels at the cinema before the movie.
Pathy newsreels. Okay,
It was,
so
what's his name? Baxter. What was his name?
Raymond Baxter.
Raymond Baxter. Yeah, commentating on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
God, Raymond Baxter, there's a name from the past. Okay, so anyway, it was the last race of the 53 championship, which incidentally was run under Formula 2 rules. There was no Formula 1 in the 1953 championship. The Formula 1 rules came back, regulations rather, came back the next year. However,
they didn't have enough cars, enough Formula 1 cars,
I
so
think
they
that
just
might
said
have been the main reason.
F2s.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, it was the last race of the season, and Fangio, in order to win the championship, had to win the race. And as the last three drivers, the first three drivers came into Parabolica on the last lap, Parabolica obviously being the last corner, the cars in the lead were Alberto Ascari, Giuseppe Farina, and Juan Manuel Fangio in third place. However, Ascari spun, and Farina took to the grass to avoid him. Fangio went through in between the pair of them and won the race by a second, and then clinched the championship for that year. However, the story we're talking about is not to do with him winning the race. It's to do with his car. All through practice and qualifying, Fangio's car had a terrible vibration, and his mechanics could not get rid of it. Whatever they did, they could not get rid of it. And at the end of qualifying, Fangio actually offered the mechanics 10% of his prize money for that race if they could manage to eliminate the vibration. So his head mechanic sent him off to bed and said, "Don't worry, Juan Manuel. Tomorrow your car will be numero uno, as they say in Italy." So, as I said, Fangio took to the track to start, and his car ran perfectly all the way to the end. Now, after the race, his teammate at Maserati, whose name was Felice Benetto, came over to congratulate Fangio and said, "Well done, that was brilliant." Fangio said, "Thank you very much, Felice. How did your race go?" And Felice said, "Well, my car had the worst vibration you could ever imagine all the way through the race." So what actually had happened was the mechanics had taken Felice Benotto's car, repainted Fangio's numbers on it, painted Felice's numbers onto Fangio's car, and didn't tell anybody. So Fangio won the championship in the race in his teammate's car, and his teammate got the vibrator. There you go. A tale from Monza, 1953.
1953. That's how they did it back in the day. That is how they did it back in the day. Anything goes. I mean, they used to be able to swap cars, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
If one of the team, if the lead driver crashed or whatever, he had a breakdown, then they'd call the second driver into the pits, give the first driver the second driver's car, and then they get back in the race and off they went again. I mean, crazy days. Crazy days. But there you go. That was how team orders worked back then. So if it's good enough for back then, it's good enough for these days. That's what I say.
Interestingly enough, just a quick fact from the 1953 Grand Prix. There's only one team that started that race that are still racing in Formula One, and that, of course, is Ferrari. None of the other teams from that race exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's an easy. Well, I would say an easy, but it's common knowledge. I mean, the only team which has been in F1 since the inception of F1 is Ferrari since 1950 race in Silverstone. So.
Yeah, I mean, we briefly had Alfa Romeo back, didn't we? So.
I mean consistently.
Yeah,
You
There was
know?
no,
no,
there was no
agreed,
Alfa
agreed.
Romeo in that Grand Prix. The Alfas were it was a Formula 2 car, but it was run by a different team. It wasn't actually Alpha. I don't. No, in fact, there wasn't any Alphas. No, there wasn't any Alphas at all. Alpha had given up by that time.
Yeah.
And I'll
What,
tell
by
you,
53? Are you sure?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'll take your word for it. Take your word for it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Some,
it might be right.
Mercedes, of course, back in the sport again.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Consistently is the word. Ferrari have been there
there's
every year.
names.
Mind you, they get a hefty payment to be there every year, to say the least. So,
Yeah.
you know, they've got good reasons to be there. Plus, of course, their brand is a racing brand. Let's face it. So
But there's some
they've
long
done all
forgotten
they've done all
names
well.
from the '53 championship. We've got Maserati, of course. They're not forgotten. But there was the Gordini team, who were of
Yeah.
course French. You had Cooper Alta. Cooper was
Yeah.
the British team. Alta, I can't remember what Alta did. Connaught Lee Francais.
Yes.
Remember
Connaught
them?
team. Yes, Connaught.
Cooper Bristol. Bristol made the
Oh,
airplanes.
Cooper. Yeah, of course.
So yeah, and OSCA. I'm not sure who OSCA were.
Oscar. It was an
Oscar.
Italian one. Yeah. Oscar.
Okay, right, there we go. I mean, that's another long forgotten name, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So anyway, that was the Myth and Quiz this week.
Thank you. That was fantastic.
Moving swiftly on to our new section.
Say again.
Moving swiftly on to our.
Oh yeah, no, that's under control. Don't you worry about that. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So, are you all right, Fabio? Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. No,
about
fine.
The Monza? Missing the trees on Lesmos, though. Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to say, missing the trees on the Lesmos. Used to be dangerous corner because of those trees. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you go. Not no more. Other than that, I think that's great. I think the championship is still in good hands. There is a chance that there is a chance for Norris still. Let's face it. You never know. Piastri may have a breakdown, despite how you know, reliable the cars are these days. There's always a chance, especially this year when there's been more Mercedes breakdowns than ever before, at least in recent years.
Yeah, I think that the most disappointing thing that Monza has changed from those days was that the lap also included the high speed ring. So yeah, I mean, but that was abandoned. I can't remember the year
from the 53s. Yeah. I mean, they've been talk about trying to get it up and running again, but it'll never come back. Obviously, it's far too dangerous for a modern Formula One car, even with good asphalt.
Yeah.
So that's just crazy talk. But you know, it goes to show. It just goes to show how much people loved Formula One back then, or at least motor racing, that they would try and do something like have an awesome track like that. I mean, Monza was very dangerous.
And I mean, keep in mind that Monza at the time, I mean, the straight was, you know, from the high speed ring, you know, straight to the Curva Grande. There was no chicane, nothing. So it was already a pretty fast circuit. They said, okay, how can we make it a little bit faster and way more dangerous? Oh, let's make an high speed ring where you have to run in there and then make the other part of the circuit. I mean, it was mental.
Yeah, for sure. But like, there's precedent for it in that, you know, Monza Park, as you say, Monza Park as it is. I mean, I still don't believe that it was a royal park back then. I mean, that's crazy talk.
There is.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But anyway, the reason, of course, is that all of the other Formula One circuits were a lot longer, right? When you think of the Nuremberg Ring, and you think of even the old Spa Francorchamps was a lot longer back then as well. Again, no chicanes and stuff. They used to race at Le Mans. They used to race at that ridiculous French circuit as well, with just 2 long straights. And then, of course, there's the even more ridiculous original Hockenheim. Okay. So, yeah, I think back then the circuits were a lot longer. They were a lot faster as well, a lot more dangerous. And I think Monza, being in such a small area, really, needed to expand the length and the distance of the track. So they came up with that crazy.
The funny thing was that Monza was dangerous because of the speed, but not because of the track. Because most of the other tracks were they had very big parts that were actually streets that were closing them. So I think Monza and Silverstone at the time, and maybe a few others, maybe something in France, they were actually circuits. So yeah, it was dangerous because of the high speed. Of course, it was. I mean, no exit, thingy, stuff like that. But it was way less dangerous because it was actually built as a circuit, So the tarmac was there. It wasn't filled with oil, from cars or cow shit, somewhere like in Spa, stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reims was the
Reims. That was the one. Yeah,
you can see the grandstands and pits are still there at the side of the road. I believe abandoned with weeds growing out of them. But the big circuit at Monza, 10 kilometers long it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, they could swap cars. You're asking me to answer this one, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could swap cars. Yeah, the team members, the drivers could swap cars. Back then, it wasn't so much of a drivers' championship as so much as a manufacturers' championship as it was a drivers' championship. And so there was no restrictions on who was driving the car. And if halfway through the race the lead driver broke down, then he could basically jump into the second place driver's car and finish the race in his position, and that was fine. So it kind of
the following year, 1954, that was the year that Peter Collins gave up his Ferrari for Fangio to win the championship. Fangio's car broke down, and Peter Collins, the British guy, he came in and gave his car to Fangio, who then went back into the race, and I think he was second or third. But anyway, he clinched the championship. The rule was you shared the points. If there was a 10-point position that the car finished in, the two drivers would get 5 points each.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, the driver would get the driver's finishing position, and the car would get that number of points for the team. So it was worth the team switching drivers to get the best race results.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe there is kind of a misunderstanding. I'm trying to clarify. They could swap cars among the same team.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah. So that's probably why the confusion comes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, there we go. Look, I think we've got to be fairly quick because I think we're going to end fairly soon. So thank you, gentlemen. Just to say, we're going to finish up with this new, brand new feature that we've got this week. Basically, it's an in-depth look at Lance Stroll and his racing career, and so in this section, we're going to call the sausage roll. So the sausage roll, and basically we're going to talk all things Lance